Today on the Barricade Guard Show, we're going to discuss physical nutrition, my 2 favorite meals, and some hacks for making real food work on a budget and a busy schedule. Also, stick around to the end to learn how to get my free mini cookbook with some great recipe ideas to get you started. When I began my physical health journey, I wanted to get ripped and lean. In my mind, if my body was a chiseled specimen, that was the pinnacle of health. The equations were simple. Meat and protein equaled muscle. Fat and carbs equaled getting fat. So I would buy chicken breasts and then boil and peel every last drop of skin and fat off of them. I was dedicated, but my efforts were misdirected. Nutrition, diets, menu plans, if you can dream it up, somebody has probably turned it into a Get Fit Quick package that you too can have for only 3 easy payments of $19.99. Low carb, no carb. All meat, no meat. Maybe juice fast and eat a beet. Here's the thing, there are all kinds of ways to lose weight, especially for a short time period. But there is more to comprehensive health and longevity than just weight. Weight is important and should be considered, but just losing weight doesn't mean that your bodily systems are firing on all cylinders. A person could lose weight eating only 500 calories of low-fat cookies per day and be suffering from all kinds of macro and micronutrient deficiencies. So let's be clear about our goals. And the goal that I'm going to suggest is long-term sustainable and comprehensive health. I'm talking about a nutritional approach for life, not something you do for only 3 to 6 weeks to lose weight and then rebound and gain all the weight back. I'm talking about a way of eating that optimizes weight and body fat percentage while at the same time reducing the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancers, and other chronic health conditions. I'm suggesting prioritizing feeling great and energetic well into your later years in life over quick hit emotional and impulsive eating that costs more of your health than the fleeting pleasure it delivers. Alright, so enough sales pitches. What am I suggesting? I'm suggesting what Dr. Joel Fuhrman has called a Nutritarian diet style, with the main principle being that the key to great health for as long as possible is maximizing your micronutrient per calorie density. Micronutrients are things like vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and antioxidants. We want to get a variety of these on a regular basis. But the challenge becomes getting high quantities of these without high quantities of calories. The answer? Plants. Lots of plants. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, nuts, and seeds, some healthy whole grains like steel-cut oatmeal and quinoa. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but just because your bread or pasta is brown doesn't mean it's actually a healthy whole grain. Sorry. So wait, is this just veganism with some new branding? Sort of, but not exactly. Veganism is defined by what you don't eat, animal products. But potato chips, french fries, soda, and Swedish fish are all vegan. I wouldn't recommend building a diet around non-animal processed junk food. Instead, nutritarianism is focused on what we do eat, a variety of micronutrient-dense plants. And we usually eat them raw, steamed, boiled, or pressure cooked to preserve as much of their nutritional value as possible. There aren't any foods that are 100% off limits for the rest of your life, and I am in no way trying to make the claim that any food is intrinsically evil or objectively immoral. Maybe soda? Probably soda. But seriously, just like we talked about in the last episode, this isn't an all or nothing proposition. Want to improve your health, but not sure you're ready to commit today to going all in on plants and throwing out the wings on game day? Fair enough. Of all the foods I used to eat that I don't anymore, wings are probably the one that I miss the most. So here's the thing. You get to decide how far you want to go. The higher percentage of high nutrition foods, the better your health, and the lower your risk for future health problems. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. But let's be honest, for most people, it's hard to say yes to fill in the blank one day, but then say no to it the next time it's offered to you, especially if you really enjoyed it last time. And if it's hard for adults to do that, it's even harder for kids. Try logically explaining to a 4-year-old why they should skip the sugary processed foods at the 4th party they've been to this week, and watch their minds explode as they try to scream you into submission. For some of us, it's probably easier to pick at least some of the most unhealthy things that you really want you and your kids to avoid, and just avoid them completely. You find what works best for you and your family. But John, I just couldn't be happy without cheese, ice cream, bacon. Okay, so here is where morality might come into play. Our ultimate happiness, or more accurately, our true joy, should be found in God. And if the thought of removing a particular food, or even a handful of foods from your diet, is so distressing to you that you refuse to even entertain the idea, even if those foods are harming the health of you and or your children, then this might be a point for deeper reflection. Remember, the more we train ourselves to exercise prudence, temperance, fortitude, and self-control in the pursuit of higher goods, even in the realm of food and drink, the more we train ourselves in virtue and prepare ourselves to prefer higher spiritual goods over temporal earthly pleasures. But John, doesn't this mean that food will be boring and not enjoyable, and I can't have any fun family food traditions? Nope. Once your palate readjusts to not having foods that are overly sweet and overly salty, you'll be able to enjoy the subtle variety of flavors that are present across the wide spectrum of real foods. There are plenty of ways to spruce things up with herbs, spices, peppers, onions, garlic, and more. And there are countless options for festive feasting on holidays and liturgical feast days. There's no reason family traditions can't be good for your soul and your body. On a quick side note, I've heard of many awesome families that have started their own homesteads and include some homegrown animal products as part of their family's nutrition. And to that, I say awesome. You're eating the eggs from your own chickens or you're drinking the milk from your own goats, more power to you. I'm not trying to convince those folks to change what they're doing. And if we ever live through a crisis or emergency event, and my family needs to join in that approach to survive, I'll be very thankful for those homesteaders who have paved the way. For now, if most of us can just agree that we should focus on real food and minimize processed and factory farm foods as much as possible, I'm happy to start there. I consider myself on the same team with the homesteaders, and someday, after we've solved the bigger health problems, we can sit around pensively as we sip our goat milk chai tea and have a friendly debate over the optimal ratio of plant foods to animal products. So John, what are your go-to meals for maximum nutrition? I'm glad you asked. First, I have my oatmeal smoothie, or what my kids have affectionately named Daddy's Breakfast. I can honestly say that I thoroughly enjoy this meal. I never get tired of it, it's very filling, and it provides sustained energy that lasts me well into the day. I start by cooking some organic steel-cut oatmeal the day before and putting it in the refrigerator to cool. Then when I'm ready to make the smoothie, I add to the blender steel-cut oatmeal, cinnamon, walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, bananas, and a small amount of cold water to get the right consistency. How much of each ingredient? It depends. Are you eating for weight maintenance, weight gain, or weight loss? The nuts and seeds add creamy flavor to a blended smoothie, but they are calorie dense. The bananas will sweeten up your smoothie, but too much simple sugar can be stored as weight gain. Start with a good balance and then adjust as needed. This tasty breakfast smoothie is also a good opportunity for teaching your kids delayed gratification. When my oldest daughter was younger, she would ask me for a spoonful of this smoothie when she saw me eating it, and I would offer her a choice. 1 spoonful now, or 2 spoonfuls at the end. She quickly learned to choose the 2 spoonfuls, even without realizing that she was practicing virtue in the process. John, that sounds delicious. What is your other favorite meal? My green smoothie. This is a nutrition powerhouse that my whole family shares every night for dinner. I pack the blender 2/3 of the way full with some combination of spinach, kale, collard greens, or Swiss chard, followed by some flax seeds, chia seeds, avocado, frozen mixed berries, and some cold water to get the right consistency. I don't think that it tastes bad, but I'll be honest and admit that this one is a bit more of an acquired taste. If you need to ease into it, just increase the ratio of frozen berries and decrease the ratio of greens while you're getting started. I consider these 2 smoothies my 2 main meals of each day. Everything else is optional and can be rotated depending on the season or my activity level. And because of this, I consider our Vitamix to be my most important kitchen appliance. Blending through large quantities of thick plants will require a powerful blender, and the Vitamix has been our workhorse throughout the years. But John, are smoothies the only thing you eat? No, but they are a quick way to pack in lots of nutrition and easy to consume because the blender has already done the chewing for you. But don't worry, there are plenty of other soups, desserts, and side dishes that are healthy and enjoyable, and I've put a few of my favorites together for you in a mini cookbook that you can download for free by joining our locals community over at barricadeguard.com. Some other common objections to this nutritional lifestyle include concerns about cost and meal preparation times. Especially with big families, these are legitimate concerns, but nothing a little creativity can't solve. First, find some filling whole foods like beans, potatoes, raw unsalted nuts, steel-cut oatmeal with berries, quinoa with apples and cinnamon, and figure out where you can buy them in bulk for the best price. You can always spruce them up with some herbs or spices, some organic salsa, or some apple cider vinegar. But at least you'll have your go-to staples that will keep the young ones satisfied. Also, look for good deals on seasonal produce like watermelon, strawberries, peaches, sweet potatoes, and things like that when they're on sale. Next, prepare food ahead of time. You'll be more likely to get flustered and grab a microwave meal if you wait until 5 minutes before lunch to start thinking about what you want to feed yourself or the kids. Learn what works, develop a routine, and plan ahead by throwing some soup in the crock pot or some potatoes in the pressure cooker well before mealtime. If you need a meal on the go, you can make some soup for dinner one night and then take some leftovers for lunch the next day in an insulated food jar. There are lots of options, and it definitely gets easier once you find your favorites and a system that works for you and your family. Finally, keep it simple. Don't put pressure on yourself to try to serve a different Pinterest-worthy 3-course meal every day of the week. A simple potato bar with a few optional toppings such as mushrooms, onions, or salsa can be filling and nutritious. Find what works for you and your family, and don't feel bad about pressing the repeat button. It's better to eat the same healthy whole foods often than to eat a variety of disease-causing processed foods. You can do this, and someday your body and your family will thank you for it. Join me next week when we'll discuss some tips for incorporating spiritual nutrition into family life, especially for growing families with young children. Do you have a favorite smoothie or a quick tip for eating healthy when life gets busy? Let me know in the comments below. And, as I mentioned in the last episode, the offer still stands for anyone who'd like a free video call to get some questions answered and some encouragement for your journey. No gimmicks, no strings attached, I'm not selling anything. Just message me below or send me a DM on Facebook if you're interested. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified when new episodes are available. You can also follow the Barricade Guard on Facebook, X, and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Until next time, fortify your soul, body, and family.